Hi guys, what is going on and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we're going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin. I'm going to explain to you guys what my plans are for the upcoming days and weeks since Bitcoin has seen a massive pump to the upside. Also, we are going to discuss a specific altcoin that hasn't really pumped yet like other altcoins. I could have made the decision to go over one of the altcoins that has already been going 100% towards the upside over the past couple of days, but I decided on purpose to pick an altcoin that hasn't done that yet and that could potentially be doing 100%, a 50%, 25% increase in the upcoming days. So definitely interesting video today for you guys, and the thumbnail of this video was looking something like this. I was indicating that we might be seeing a move towards $48,000. Well guys, for now I'm still sticking to my original bias. I've been bullish all the way up. I've been bullish while I was telling you guys that I would remain bullish until we would take out this buy side liquidity over here. And right now we have taken out that buy side liquidity. We are mitigating the monthly fair value gap over here. We are mitigating the weekly fair value gap over here, and we are mitigating the 3-day and 1-day fair value gaps over here as well. Now, this is an area where you want to be cautious. I'm not saying that we can't continue higher. I'm just saying that this might be a potential area where we might see a potential PO3 pattern, where we might see a potential deviation of the higher time frame range high area. So if this is a range, actually adjust this a little higher. If this is a range, we can see how the range has been getting respected beautifully so far. We might say that we have so far seen a deviation of the range low, and that we might potentially anticipate a deviation of the range high. Now, if we do anticipate a potential deviation of the range high, we can then target the quarterly levels of this range and the mid level of this range. And those are potential areas of interest where Bitcoin can then find support again. I'm not saying that this is already a deviation. A deviation needs confirmation, of course. But what I'm personally going to wait for is consolidation above the range high. We might push a little higher. Maybe we go beneath the range high again, go a little higher again. Just some chop, just some sideways movement, some consolidation. This will offer the opportunity for altcoins and Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin, and they haven't done that in a while. Now, if they start outperforming Bitcoin, a lot of people will get extremely euphoric, extremely bullish. At some point, I expect Bitcoin to get back inside of this range, confirm the deviation, and start moving back towards the quarterly level over here, the mid level over here, and eventually the lower quarterly level around $21,500. That remains my main scenario. I've been anticipating a scenario like this for a longer period of time. Lower time frame wise, we are also breaking out of this range over here, a lower time frame range. And also this might turn into a potential deviation. So lower time frame wise, we might be looking at a potential PO3 AMD pattern, whatever you want to call it, in which we have our accumulation over here. We are currently entering the manipulation phase, and we might see the distribution phase to the downside with the same target around $21,500, where we also have that CME gap aligning with the exact same area. Some nice confluences overall. So I'm not saying that we can continue higher, but I'm saying that if I start to see signs of distribution over here, and usually signs of distribution are sideways movements with big wicks to the upside, for example, smart money accumulating shorts, smart money selling their spot buys and their long positions to dumb money. That's definitely something to keep our eyes on. Bitcoin, you have to realize, has already seen a very impulsive move. So is this an area where you really want to start trading Bitcoin until you get strong confirmation? In my opinion, it isn't. In my opinion, the time has now come to start trading Ethereum and altcoins. Talking about altcoins, let's have a look at Atom, because I do think that Atom is quite an interesting chart. First of all, higher time frame, we can see very strong downtrend, right? Constantly moving to the downside. Now, what is interesting to me is that we had this liquidity pool that was building up over here beneath the low of this week. But overall, we had this huge wick over here. We know that these huge wicks, they are liquidity pools themselves. Now, if I extend this to the right and we analyze this price section, we can see that we have been seeing a lot of sideways movement over here within this massive liquidity pool, beneath the wick, but also inside of the wick where we also had unfilled orders. So we are potentially moving sideways within a liquidity pool after a big move to the downside. That could be a potential sign that big buy orders are being accumulated. Now, we can see that we are trading within a range over here, right? Pretty clean range if you ask me. You can definitely see the respect of the quarterly levels. You can definitely see the respect of the mid-range. So definitely a valid range. Now, there's a few different ways how we can draw it. We can draw it like this. But this way we can also see that also the levels are being respected quite nice. This is quite a nice range. We can see small deviation of the range high. Now we have seen a deviation of the range low. This, if we zoom in, is where we gained quarterly level. We have rejected this quarterly level, and right now we are hovering around a little bit around the mid-range. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Gur, how can I get in on the move over here? How can I potentially anticipate a potential breakout out of this accumulation range? Because, guys, trust me, if accumulation ranges like this, they start to break out, the expansion to the upside is often quite aggressive. And you can target, for example, the buy side liquidity over here above $8.57. This buy side liquidity around $8.25. You can potentially even target some higher levels, because we can see that along the way down over here, we have been building up quite some liquidity with these constant lower highs, right? And that is definitely some liquidity that we could be targeting for the add-in price once it starts breaking out of this range. Now, let's have a look at the fixed range volume profile of this range over here. Let's take the fixed range volume profile. Let's start over here. And we can see that we are currently trading around the point of control. So what I personally would wait for is, we can see that we are definitely struggling with this area, right? We are struggling with this quarterly level. We are struggling with the mid-range. So personally, what I would be waiting for is to get a little bit of a dip towards the lower quarterly level over here. Why? Because we can see that over here, beneath this low, is definitely some liquidity resting, right? A lot of people see this bounce over here. They think, okay, let me FOMO into buy and long positions. Where will they put their stop? Either beneath this low or beneath this low or this low. Now, before we want to look for longs, we want to punish the early long and buy position, right? So what I would be waiting for is a little bit of a rejection over here. Start taking out this significant wick, maybe even take out this sell side liquidity. See if the price can find support over here around the quarterly level, and that's where you engage with a long position. Now, if you can see that it finds support over here, you can even decide to wait for the lower time frame confirmation and see, like I said, if it is holding the quarterly level. Now, this is where you can even enter a market position with your stop, for example, a little beneath the range low with the same target. This is a swing kind of trade. You can also decide to play this as a spot trade, but this still offers a nice RR. So I'm not saying that you have to wait, for example, for the price to push towards this area, give you the low time frame confirmation, then, for example, enter over here or enter on the pullback and put your stop beneath this low. Yes, obviously the RR gets much better, but since it is quite a choppy altcoin, there's a decent possibility that we just go for another sweep, take out this sell side, take it out, and go up from there. That is something that you definitely want to prevent yourself from happening. So personally, how I would play this is I would still wait for the price to find support after taking out this significant wick over here. Doesn't necessarily have to tap the quarterly level and doesn't necessarily have to take out this low. But if you can see that it finds a little bit of support over here, maybe see some signs of low time frame accumulation, you can start engaging with a long over here. Maybe you can add an extra limit order over here, stop over here. Targets are very clear: $8.25, $8.57.5, and even higher targets. Pretty clean altcoin if you ask me. What I'm personally simply going to do is I'm going to set my alerts beneath this little line over here. Once my alerts get triggered, I already know what I have to look for. And once I know that I'm going to engage with the trade, as always, I will share the exact entry, take profit and stop loss in our VIP channel. If you guys are looking for a good exchange, I really suggest to check out Prime XBT. Definitely one of the top exchanges out there. Really liking the exchange. Definitely very well, for example, for forex trading, commodity trading, stuff like that. Definitely something that you need to check out yourself. If you guys do have any questions after watching today's YouTube video, if you guys do have any questions on Prime XBT, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll check you guys on Friday's YouTube video. Ciao.